They're enjoying every minute of it. Any closing comments about how the night went last night? You guys came up here yesterday. You spent the night. Some of the activities that went on up to this very moment when you guys finally showed up here at the ballpark. And I might say you all looked very refreshed. Looked like you had a good night's rest.
Thank you. Okay, yesterday the team bus left Wabash from the Little League field right at 9 o'clock. Arrived, of course, it was 10 o'clock Michigan time. Arrived up here about 3 o'clock local time. There were some beginning festivities where the foster parents were assigned to the individuals. For those of you that may not know what I'm referring to there, those teams are housed, two players from each team are housed with an individual family here in Wyoming. This is a real advantage for all four teams that are here, and that one of these teams will go on to Williamsport. And Pinery Park last year, their Little League operation, their team did make it all the way to Williamsport. In fact, we're third in the world last year in that tournament. So one of these four teams, hopefully Wabash, is gaining some good insight from some of the parents and some of the players who actually went through this experience last year. Following getting checked into the houses and getting everyone assigned and everything, there was a picnic back here put on by the local JCs, very similar to the picnic that our local JCs put on for the team and the family on Sunday. I'd like to thank all the JC members for giving us that opportunity to get together on Sunday. After that last night, the players all went back to their respective homes and checked in for the evening. This morning we had a relatively full day planned. We were going to get together at 9:30, practice most of the morning, go to lunch together, come back over for the game. However, we woke up to the sounds of rain on the windows and on the roof, which was extremely disappointing to all of us. About 10 o'clock, it finally quit raining. The field crew got out, did a real good job in getting it ready, and here we are ready to play without too much deviation from our original schedule.
We'll be back with more in just 60 seconds.
Hi, I'm Bob Fuller with First National Bank here in Wabash. You know, each personal transactor machine spends 8,760 hours a year serving the people of Wabash. Convenient 24-hour banking, now at 3 locations, the corner of Cass Street, downtown, and I'm proud to say our third location at the junction of Highway 13 South and Hale Drive is now ready to serve you. So when you need cash any time of the day or night, Transactor is ready to serve you. Transactor, only at First National Bank in Wabash, member FDIC.
WKUC has Wabash pride and supports the Wabash Little League All Stars. If you can, attend the regional playoffs in Wyoming, Michigan, and support the All Stars. But if you can't, WKUC will give you all the play-by-play. For Little League baseball excitement, keep your dial set at 95.9 FM.
It's Little League Central Regional Tournament from Wyoming, Michigan at Pinery Park. It's the Wabash Little League All-Stars moving in game 1, playing Sioux City of Iowa. And Jim Whitner had to leave, and he wanted me to pass on a word to his son Brett, who's listening in out there, and say hi, Brett. And also, special thanks, he said to Phil Young, be sure not to put anybody in his desk until he gets back. He's hoping that it's after next week at Williamsport. Jim, I'm going to turn it right over to you. Jim Rowe got some information for us. He's been running around here talking to all these people from Sioux City, and Jim, let's bring us up to date what this Central Regional Tournament's all about.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Well, to get to the Central Regional Tourney, the Iowa team's record is 13 wins, 1 defeat, the same as Wabash. The game that they lost was a 1-0 game, and the run scored was unearned, according to their coaches. I talked with their coaches previously before the start of coming on the air, trying to find out some information about how they got here. Well, to begin with, they won the state of Iowa tourney. Then they went to a divisional playoff, which I will explain to you. In the divisional playoff, there was the winner from Oklahoma, Wisconsin, South Dakota, Kansas, Missouri, Minnesota, Nebraska, and, of course, Iowa. Now, many of you may wonder why they had to play in a divisional playoff to get to the Central Regional, whereas Wabash, by winning the state championship, gained this position. I talked with one of the directors from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and he gave me an insight as to the reason. As an example, in the state of Iowa, there are only 77 chartered Little Leagues. In the state of Indiana, there are 204. So what happens in a situation like that? In our region, it is Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan, 4 states. Because the state of Illinois has over 700 chartered Little Leagues, they automatically go to the Central Regional as a representative, whereas Ohio, Indiana, and Michigan. In this particular case, this year, Indiana drew the bye. Next year, Ohio will draw the bye, and the following year, Michigan will draw the bye. By that I mean, this year, Ohio state champion and the Michigan state champion had to play in a divisional playoff. Indiana, by winning Wabash, by winning the Indiana state championship, automatically came in to the sectional here, the Central Regional. I hope I haven't got you confused in that regard. Sioux City from Iowa traveled approximately 780 miles to get here. We from Wabash were rather lucky, 157 miles. In regards to the information that I could gather as to our opponent from Sioux City, the coaches were a little bit shy in giving out too information. However, they did tell me that the Todd Henningfeld, who is pitching for him in today's game, has a record of 6-0. He also said that they carry a 3-man pitching staff and that they didn't designate one pitcher as their ace, number 2 pitcher, and number 3. They figured that they were all just about the same. But believe me, I personally believe that they are starting their ace against us today. The Sioux City team, looking down on the field, comparing with our boys, they seem to be a little bit bigger in size. But as the old adage goes, the bigger they come, the harder they fall. In talking to the coach, I was commenting about the number of miles that he had to come, 780 miles, to go back home. He says, we're not going home. We're going on to Logansport. Well, I came back with, you got to beat us first. Bill, will you take over, please?
We'll be back in 60 seconds with more from Wyoming, Michigan.
If your home needs to be dressed up on the outside, call on Woodmeyer Siding at 212 North Wabash Street. With over 30 years of experience in Wabash County, Woodmeyer Siding can improve your home's looks with beautiful aluminum and vinyl siding. Woodmeyer Siding can do the job right. For a free estimate, call 563-4445. Imagine never having to paint your house again. Woodmeyer Siding is a proud sponsor of the Wabash Little League All Stars. That's Woodmeyer Siding at 212 North Wabash Street. McDonald's Restaurant at 13 Edward North Cass Street, Wabash is proud to be a sponsor of the Wabash Little League All Stars and wish them the best of luck at Michigan in the regional playoffs. Stop by McDonald's and enjoy a 100% pure beef burger, crisp golden McDonald's fries, drink, and a caramel, hot fudge, or strawberry sundae, or any of many other McDonald's delicious foods. Good luck, Little League All Stars. From McDonald's at 13 Edward North Cass Street, Wabash.
Michigan in this Little League time, and it's the Central Regional Tournament, and it's Wabash playing Sioux City, Iowa. And Bernie Cohen, the men in blue usually are introduced. Today it was the men in green. And a little comments about the whole tournament as we watch the umpires just being introduced. Bernie Cohen, the sports editor of the Wabash Play Dealer. Bernie.
Well, of course, it's a little different type of tournament than some of the Wabash players and fans are used to, in that they really don't know quite what they're up against. In some of the other tournaments, they were playing some teams that they had played in the past years or had heard a little something about. And like I said, they really don't know that much about this Iowa team. They had to come through an awfully big geographical area to come into this tournament. I believe they were the champion of about 8 or 9 states, mainly because they're not that many Little League teams in those states. They had to play through that many. And this Sioux City team, as we said before, Bill, is pretty good size physically. We watch them in the infield practice, and maybe they don't look quite as smooth. But of course, when both teams are coming in with only one loss and have played the same number of games, so it's it's going to be anybody's ballgame.
Okay, Bernie, appreciate you and Jim's fine comment, and I hope all the fans back in Wabash appreciate all these fine sponsors. So it's a long way up. It's been a rainy day up here, but the field right now is in excellent condition. And the picture out here, Jim, for them, you're taking them out, and Wabash is going to have to bat first today.
Wabash is a visiting team, Bill, and it is Todd Henningfeld with a record of 6-0 in tournament play.
A right-handed pitcher, Henningfeld, will be doing the pitching. Well, a couple people from Wabash went by and waved, and that was Carlton Campbell. He's got his 2 grandsons with him, and that's Michael Campbell and Scott Pence. And we'll wave right back to them. And, of course, Jim, we can look over there and see, and Bernie, a lot of people from Wabash up here. In fact, a great deal of people, and they keep moving in. They did bring a bus up. I think Mike Garrett was behind that. I noticed sitting in the front row with Mike is Harry Forbes over there, and they were the first 2 guys to get off of the bus. I guess they were short a few, but they brought the bus anyway, and we've got a big crowd up here.
Well, it's a real advantage for Wabash in that fans, only have to come about 150 miles to get up here. And, of course, the fans from Sioux City, they're the dedicated ones, Phil. They told us they had to come about 780 miles to get here, 14 hours plus. But there's still a pretty good number of them here, but they're the diehards.
And, of course, it's about a 3-hour-and-a-half ride, and we've got Donnie Blair stepping into the batting. And, Jim, Donnie Blair has been hitting about 182, but on the base average, he's been averaging about 42% of the time, which means. And we got the first pitch underway, and we've got strike 1. And, Jim, where's the scoreboard so we can keep an eye on the strike? And it's out there in left field. We're ready to go, Jim.
So we're all set to go now, Bill. Here it comes.
And it's strike 2. So
that looks like a curveball, off-speed curveball.
A little bit of, Jim, we're not sitting behind the home. We're on the side, but a nice area.
It's going to be a little harder to judge the type of pitching, but that was a change-up curve.
So now Blair on 3 strikes, swinging, strike 3, and Wabash with the first man up has been retired. So we have 1 up, and Matt Bruss stepped in. A little bit about Matt Bruss. Matt is batting, I believe, Jim, about 250, but he's at
250 comes into this game. He's got some key hits for us.
So Matt just hits another one out to the right fielder. Go scoring. Matt will go around third. Matt will hit for second. Let's see if he tries for third. He's going to be held up at second. And now I'm not sure how they're going to call that. Whether the right fielder caught it and dropped it, or he just missed it completely. Let's see how they're going to score it as an official scorekeeper here. Matt Bruss. 2 base hit. Matt Bruss.
2 base hit all the way.
Matt Bruss flying one down the right field, clear to the screen, and the outfielder came in, but he did not get his hands on it, rolled all the way to the screen, and Wabash, with their first scoring man, has a man on second.
Well, now the first pitch is thrown, I can go ahead and say that Wabash got a little bit lucky there because Matt missed first base.
Okay, I didn't realize that. He did not. Now, our next batter up here, Todd Adams, and Todd, you couldn't want any better hitter up. Todd is batting, I believe, 389, Jim, the leading hitter on the team.
He's the leading hitter at 389. This pitcher, Bill, has got a slow, easy change curveball. There goes.
Todd Adams put one up through center field, and I believe they'll hold Matt up on third, and Todd Adams came through, and this boy Hempfeld has allowed 2 base hits to the second and third batter in the lineup. Bruss with the double, Todd Adams with a single, and the Wabash Little League All-Stars have men on first and a man on third. They have one out, and stepping in here to bat is another guy you couldn't ask for any better, Randy Kefever.
This is a good boy to have up now, Bill, because he makes contact.
So Randy Kefever, and Bernie, as you said, Wabash getting off here with outside with that Matt Gruss with that double, not touching first, and nobody called me attention. We couldn't ask for a better hitter than Randy Kefever, who right now is batting .350. And Randy Kefever has had his share of home runs in this league. He has had 3 of them. So Randy Kefever hits a high one. It's going to hold. Let's see. They'll go for a hit because Russ played a smart move there. He waited. That was a high bouncer in the infield, went way up in the air. Matt Russ waited till the third baseman caught the ball, and then he started to home. Well, he didn't know whether to throw it to first and get Kefever or pick off Russ.
We got the bases FOW full of Wabash now.
So the bases are loaded, and Sean Brainerd, who's going to be pitching today, is up in the batter's box. Now, Brainerd has had his share of hits. He's batting .259. He averages 32. We've got a timeout as the manager wants to talk to the pitcher, Hipfeld, and right now he's in a little bit of a jam because Wabash, with Matt Gruss on third, Todd Adams on second, Randy Kefever on first, only one out, and Wabash has an early opportunity here, Jim.
This is a great opportunity, and we've got to cash in on it right away.
So the Sioux City, Iowa ball team facing Wabash. Now, it's a hit down to the second baseman. It won't go. It'll score a run, and they throw it away, and Wabash still has the bases loaded, but they could pick the guy off on third, and they do. They just picked Todd Adams off on third, and they got too far around, and they did. Wabash has scored, though, as Matt Russ did score. Is that going to be an infield hit or a fielder's choice? We got to decide here, as the official score has not given us information on. So Brainerd does bat in a run. What they call it? Fielder's choice. Well, the run scored, but Wabash down with the man on first. That's Sean Brainerd, the man on second. That's Randy Kefever. And stepping into the batter's box here is Jamie Duncan. So Wabash, Jamie Duncan now with 2 men on, Wabash out in front in the top half of the first inning. Well, most certainly we hope Tony Carso got us tuned in out there. Tony, a little bit under the weather the last couple of days. Hope he and Nettie both listening in out there enjoying the ball game, along with Bob Hag, we know, and so many other people out there today taking in this ball game. We've got strike one, ball one, and it is Jamie Duncan, the batter.
Jamie's there goes.
Jamie hits a throw into the second baseman, and the second baseman will fire it over. So in the inning, we had several hits there. I'm not sure how many hits we came up with, Jim. 3? 3 hits. And we have 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and at the end of the top half of the first inning, Wabash won. Sioux City, Iowa, coming to bat.
The staff and management of the Ford Meter Box Company, located on Manchester Avenue in Wabash, is proud of our Little League All-Stars. Congratulations to your success to this point, and wishing you the best of luck in Wyoming, Michigan. This message from the Ford Meter Box Company, part of the growing community of Wabash for over 80 years. The Baker Insurance Agency at 234 South Miami Street in Wabash is proud to be a Wabash Little League All-Star sponsor. The Baker Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency for auto, homeowners, boat, business, casualty, motorcycle, and life insurance. See Max or John Baker. They'll explain to you the advantages of an independent agent. That's the Baker Insurance Agency at 234 South Miami Street in Wabash, a Little League All-Star booster.
Wyoming, Michigan, Pinery Park. It's the Little League Central Regional Tournament as we get ready to bring you the second half of the first inning. Wabash, that inning, had a good inning in there, Jim. They had the bases loaded, and they even left 2 men on the base, but they did score that 1 run that they do lead by 1-0.
Yes, they got 3 hits, Bill. They got that double and 2 singles. But we should have gotten more than the 1 run. Todd just strayed too far down the line, and that catcher was wide awake and threw it to third, and they nailed him. So shut off a rally, but we got 1 out of it.
Well, the Hoosier Muffler Sales, one of the sponsors up there today, Joe Knight and Merlin Knight, probably working pretty hard out there, and got a call when somebody combined, said, tell Joe when you see him that there was no tickets left to go to Chicago Saturday to see Atlanta and the Cubs, and Joe and his lovely wife are going to have to go to the State Fair instead of going up and seeing the Cubs in Atlanta. Bernie, your comments on the first half of the first inning. Bernie Cole.
Well, definitely a good start. They get 1 run. Of course, lately that's about all they've needed, but you have a feeling that 1 run probably is not going to do it today. This team is a step above the competition Wabash has been playing, and they could have had more than 1 run, but hey, it's still an awfully good start when you can push 1 across the plate in the first inning, and I think they are going to get more.
I wonder how many people up here realize that this pitcher that's pitching for Wabash the last 2 times out has pitched a no-hitter, and then one game struck 17 out of 18 outs, and so Sean Brainerd could be going for no-hit number 3. And I know you said Johnny Vandermeer the last time. I'm wondering who it'll be if he gets 3 in a row here, Bert. And that would be something. Jim, our first batter is
Steele, the first baseman. I don't have any stats, Bill, so I can't give the folks back home any stats on him.
Okay, so Sean Brainerd, the last 2 times out, had a good ball game, fires it in, and we've got ball 1. So Sean Brainerd, winner 3-0 in Fort Wayne on a no-hitter. Sean Brainerd, winner 4-0 in Kokomo against Indianapolis Warren. And now, C. Reich runs. So Sean Brainerd with 1 ball, 1 strike on the first baseman, Terry Steele. Sioux City, Iowa. Wabash 1, Sioux City, Iowa, no score. And now it is outside ball 2. So Brainerd in his pitching has pitched 30 innings. And in the run department, I'm not sure just exactly how many runs. He's given up 5, I believe, isn't it? And now we got strike 2.
He's given up 5 runs, Bill, 6 hits, and he struck out 68.
And right now we have a 2 ball, 2 strikes on the first baseman, Steele, Sioux City, Iowa, and it's a foul strike. So the count remains the same. And looking over there, into the audience from Wabash, Jim, and a lot of fans sitting over there enjoying this ball game, taking it all in, and enjoying every minute here. Now, Sean Brainerd steps off of the mound. The umpire calls time. It is 2 balls, 2 strikes on Steele, the first baseman. Wabash out in front, and Brainerd with the first strikeout of the ball game. Sean Brainerd, the right 3, and it was a swing and strike.
He threw 6 pitches, Bill. 5 of them were fastballs, and the one that got him looked like his change-up curveball.
So we're underway with the second half of the first inning. Sean Brainerd on the mound for Wabash, and the next batter is Dunbar. Takes the right one. Tim Dunbar. Tim is I would say that he is the center fielder. And now strike 2, and that was a swinging strike. And Bernie, give me your comment here.
Well, I think you can tell already Sean's going to have a pretty good day because he's getting his curveball over the plate.
So now it is 2 strikes. No balls, Sean Brainerd. He right 3. And Sean Brainerd has struck out the first 2 batters in his face. That's Sioux City, Iowa.
He threw 1 fastball, the first pitch, and the other 2 was his curveball. If he continues this way, Bill, he's going to be hard to beat.
So it is Wabash 1, as they scored in that first inning. Brett leading off with the double, did eventually get in on a fielder's choice, I believe, wasn't it, Jim, that they scored the run. And now Wabash with 1. Sioux City, Iowa's next batter stepping in there is Brad Leckford, I guess. Leckband. And he is their left fielder. And he takes, I believe, ball 1. So Sean Brainerd on the mound fires again, and we've got ball 2, and that one there, Jim was down in the dirt and got away even from the fine catcher that Wabash has, Dan Cox.
Yeah, he got his fastball got away from him that time.
By the way, Dan Cox's grandpa, Hank Wagner, and his lovely wife, Ruby, are both up here from Lincolnville to see this ball game. And now Brainerd, a little bit letting carried away here after these 2 strikeouts, and throwed another one in the dirt, and it's another ball that got by the catcher.
Let's hope that the pattern doesn't continue, because Brainerd will be a little bit wild at times, but he'll settle down. He'll get his feet on the ground.
3 balls, no strikes on the 3rd batter, and now we got D-right one. Leckban, the left fielder up, and that is Brad. So Sean Brainerd has 3 balls, 1 ball, 1 strike on Brad Leckban, the very fine left fielder, and now strike 2, and that was a swinging strike, and now the count is full. Now Sean can come in here now with this next one. So Sean finally got back on target.
He's throwing his curveball more. I'm surprised at that, but maybe he figures he's got good control on it.
So Sean Brainerd now winds, will fire. D-right 3, and he struck out the side at the end of 1 full innings of play in Wyoming, Michigan. It's Wabash 1. No score for Sioux City of Iowa. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
The First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Wabash is proud to be associated with the Little League All Stars and wishes them continued success. The First Federal Savings and Loan Association wants your business and is offering totally free. That's right, totally free checking accounts. No balance is required, no service charge, and checks are supplied free. We want your business. That's First Federal Savings and Loan of Wabash, member FSLIC, a Little League booster. Wabash's oldest home loan furniture store, Miller Furniture, at 1100 North Cass Street, now offers 1/2 off Sealy Posturepedic Royale bedding. This is the sale that you've been waiting for. Every Sealy Posturepedic model and size is drastically reduced during this incredible Posturepedic sale. So shop early for the best selection. Quantities are limited. Save 50% on Sealy Posturepedic Royale bedding right now at Miller Furniture, 1100 North Cass Street. Miller Furniture supports our Little League All Stars.
It's Wyoming, Michigan, and it's Central Regional Tournament. And we're at Pinery Park, a very beautiful park, on a beautiful day up here. And, of course, Daywalt Pharmacy. John Daywalt and all the gang at 948 North Cass Street, Jim, on our network today. And I suppose Jim has got the radio tuned in out there at Daywalt Pharmacy, and some of the helpers out there that are listening in.
Well, I imagine they're all right around the radio.
And
number 8.
Scott Lowry down here from Williamsport again. Scott, come over here just a second before you're in here, and we want to get a few comments from you. You did excellent last week. Your thoughts on the first inning up here at this beautiful park in Wyoming, Michigan?
Well, it fooled me a little bit because I was talking with your coaching staff since the game on Saturday. There's the pitch into the foul ball on left field line. I was talking to the coaching staff on Saturday and Sunday, and they were asking me what I thought about their ball club and what I thought their weaknesses may be and so forth. And I said, well, it's very tough to judge from one game, but I said, I think maybe hitting consistency may be your problem. Your defense is good and your pitching is good. But the first inning, they kind of put that to rest because every one of them got the bat on the ball.
Well, Scott, we appreciate you dropping by and hope we'll get some more comments during the course of the ballgame.
Well, look forward to a good tournament. I'm glad you can make it up here.
Okay, and at bat for Wabash is Dan Cox, the second baseman.
He hit that first pitch, Bill, right down the third baseline, and it wasn't outside of the bag by more than 2 inches. If it had gone fair, that was good for 2 bases. This kid is still not really showing any fastball. He just threw one man, but it's not consistent.
Dan fouled that one off, and now we have 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Of course, comparing it to Brainerd, who's, maybe not all that fair to Todd Henningsfeld out there, because Brainerd has just about as hard fastballs you'll see at this age group.
Dan Cox just fanned out after he hit the first 2 balls, one just barely foul, and the other one foul tip behind the plate, and now we have 1 out, and David Foy, who's playing out here today in left field, or is he playing right field today? Right field today, and what's Dave? Dave's been doing a fine job.
Dave of course, made that sensational catch in the Kokomo game. He's batting at 105.
Strike one on Dave. We're in the top half of the first inning. It's Wabash out in front by one. And now Henfeld just fired a fastball in there. We got a called second strike on David Floyd. David, by the way, batting eighth in the batting order for the Wabash Little League team. Managed there by Ronnie Kefauver. And now C. Wright 3, Coach Orrin Wagner, and the president, of course, general manager up here, Mike Pretorius. Well, that is 2 outs, and Hugh Kendall, the center fielder, stepping in.
Hughes batting 130 for the tourney. That was Henningfeld's third strikeout.
So Hugh Kendall stepping in. That's Danny Kendall's son, and of course, we probably should not let Mrs. Kendall, that's Sue Kendall, who works out there, Dr. Murnus and Dr. Doniger's office, and she probably got the radio tuned in, listening out there along with Dr. Murnus and Dr. Doniger, and you just swung at the second strike here, and we have 2 strikes, 2 outs, both by strikeouts, and this Henfeld, after that rough first inning start, is down to the 9th man, and we've got a ball on there. So it gets away from the catcher. He'll chase it down and fire it back to the pitcher, and we have 1 ball, 2 strikes on Hugh Kendall. 9th man up for Wabash in this ball game. We're in the top half of the second inning. Wabash out in front by 1-0, and he pops the foul ball out of play up on the hill over on the Wabash side. Wabash, by the way, sitting on the first base side today because they are batting first. They are the visitors. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It is Hugh Kendall, the batter. Hugh swings away, and we've got a strikeout, and that's the third strikeout of the inning. So at the end of 1 1/2 inning of play, the score, 1 Wabash, and no score in there for Sioux City, Iowa. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
And now for another chapter in the saga, The Time of Your Life. Today we find Ed calling home to Doris.
Hi, honey. I know I called earlier, but I'm still at the station getting the muffler fixed. The guy went after a part, and it's going to cost more, too. I should have gone to the muffler pro.
Meanwhile, across town, Ted dials his wife, Mary.
Mary, it took just 15 minutes for the muffler at Hoosier Muffler Shop, so I'll be home early. Cost less, too.
Hoosier Muffler on Hale Drive and 13 South is a member of the ESPA, Exhaust System Professionals Association, and is a Wabash Little League booster. The savings are fine when the price ends in 9 at Daywalt Pharmacy, 948 North Cass Street, Wabash. During their back-to-school Big 9 sale, you'll find theme books at 29 cents, 300-count filler papers, 79 cents, high-dry paper towels, 39 cents a roll, Q-Tex nail polish, 89 cents, a Sunbeam alarm clock, $3.99, and tubular hangers, 10 for 99 cents. You'll find these big savings and more at Daywalt's Pharmacy during the back-to-school Big 9 sale. Good luck, All-Stars, from Daywalt Pharmacy, 948 North Cass Street.
The Pinery Park Little League Central Regional Tournament, Bill Rogge along with Jim Rowe and Bernie Cohn up here, and we looked at the first 1.5 innings of play, and we see that Wabash leads by 1. Denny Motors, one of the sponsors up here today. Denny Motors, 50 West Water Street. Steve Denny down there, probably going to let Lawrence Denny and Don Denny listen to the ball game, and we know John Morningstar and Tim Denny and John Denny down there probably got us tuned in along with Becky Walker, and maybe they got it on, letting all the guys out in the garage listen to this ball game, Went Dennis and all the crowd. Tom Bumgarner sitting up here with his son. And the first batter, as we look now, is Jeff Henningfeld, the pitcher.
Their pitcher, leading off.
And he takes P. Right 1 by Sean Brainerd. So Sean Brainerd striking out the side, and C. Right 2, and that was a called second strike. So, Sean Brainerd, Jim.
This is fastball again. He's got 3 strikeouts, and Henningfeld's got 4.
And now it is ball outside. But remember, Jim, Sean has only faced 3 batters. This is his 4th batter that he faced. So it is the top half of the second inning. The Wabash 1, Sioux City, Iowa 0. And now Sean uncorks another low ball, and it bounces in the dirt and gets away. And more balls have got away from Stan Cox today than any of the tournament games.
Well, I'm just glad there wasn't anyone on base, Bill, because those are all those balls that are getting past Stan are wild pitches, if there were men on base.
So it is The Jackie Robinson of Illinois, Chicago, playing the next game against Taylor of Michigan. That game gets underway late in the afternoon here. Our time, it would be 4 o'clock. Wyoming, Michigan time would be 5, and Sean Brainerd just uncorked another ball. So we have 3 balls, and he throws the ball away. So it is 3 balls, 2 strikes on the leadoff batter. Henningfeld, the pitcher for Sioux City, Iowa. A full count as Brainerd winds, will fire, and it is right 3, and Sean Brainerd making it worry up here. He puts a full count, and he's got his 4th strikeout in a row.
Took him a few more pitches to get it, but he got it. It took him 6 pitches to get that one.
So stepping up into the batter's box, Jeff Thompson. Jeff playing third base out here for the Sioux City, Iowa team as Brainerd winds, fires deep right. Sean Brainerd's got 1 strike, and Bernie, he's making a little nervous. He's putting in 3 and 2 counts on us up here, and that's something he hadn't been doing.
Well, right now it looks like that's about the only way they're going to get on base, aside from a little bit of a lucky hit, because these Sioux City boys right now are just not trying to attack Brainerd at all. They're just kind of sitting there waiting for it. And if you wait for Sean Brainerd's ball to get by, you're not even going to see it.
Ball 1 and strike 1 as Sean Brainerd to Jeff Thompson. Will fire. Right 2, and it's a called strike. And Jim, he's on target.
Hey, John, he's using a different pattern on this chap than he did the one before. He threw 3 fastballs.
So Sean Brainerd winds, fires, right 3. He has struck out 5 in a row up here at Wyoming, Michigan, a beautiful park, Pinery Park, and it's Sioux City, Iowa, that's playing Wabash in Game 1 of the Central Regional Tournament. And right now, Wabash out in front by 1. Matt Bruss scored in the first inning on a fielder's choice, and that's the only run of the ball game after Matt had doubled. Now the batter stepping in is Jason. Is that McCory? Jason. Here's the left-handed batter. And
It's a left-handed second baseman. Something unusual, Bill, to have a kid at second base left-handed.
So it's ball 1 on McCory as Sean Brainerd winds. Right 1, and it's 1 strike. It's 1 ball, and Sean Brainerd fired him in.
Throwing smoke all the way.
2 outs in the bottom half of the second inning. Wabash out in front by 1-0. 2 outs in the bottom half of the second inning. Game 1 of the Central Regional Tournament in Wyoming, Michigan. And it's a bunt down to Brainerd. Over to first. He's retired. Brainerd to Adams. No run, no hit, no errors. End of 2 full innings of play. Wabash 1. Sioux City, Iowa 0. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
A supermarket with super service too, where shopping is a pleasure, 'cause they care for folks like you.
The staff and management at Clark's Finer Foods supports the Wabash Little League All-Stars. Clark's wishes the best to the All-Stars now and in the future. Clark's Finer Foods is a Wabash Little League booster. Denny Motor Sales at 50 West Water Street, Wabash, wishes the Wabash Little League All-Stars best of luck in Michigan. Denny Motor Sales has served Wabash and Wabash County for over 50 years. Stop by Denny's and see their large selection of Oldsmobiles, GMC trucks, and Buicks. Denny Motors also offers body repair and auto leasing. That's Denny Motor Sales at 50 West Water Street, Wabash. Wishing the Wabash Little League All-Stars continued success in Wyoming, Michigan.
Wyoming, Michigan, Central Regional Tournament, and it's Wabash coming to bat in the top half of the third inning with the score Wabash 1, Sioux City, Iowa 0. On our network, Jim Whitmire Siding Company, I'm not sure who some of the members are, but I know right next door to Harold Chatlock, where he lives, they're siding that great big house, and Whitmire Siding is the one that's doing it. And I think they've got a radio out there today listening to this ball game. Jim, your comments on the first 2 full innings of play. Jim Rowe.
Well, the first 2 innings, Sean threw. In the first inning, he threw 15 pitches. In the second inning, he threw 12. In the first inning, it was mostly fastballs, as was in the second.
Well, Donnie Blair, who struck out in the first inning will be the leadoff batter for Wabash in the top half of the third inning, and he takes strike one on the first pitch by Hennenfeld. And now it is ball one. So,
Blair hitting 180.
He's batting what? About 180?
182. That was going into today's game, Bill. Of course, he's already had one turn of bat and struck out, so he's dropped a little bit on his batting average.
So Donnie Blair, leadoff batter for Wabash here in the top half of the third inning. Wabash leading by one. Takes, swing and strike. We've got strike two, ball one. Well, the sun's coming out, Bernie and Jim, and it looks like we're going to have a beautiful afternoon out here in Wyoming, Michigan. Now a wild pitch. It goes clear back to the screen. And the pitcher, Hemphill, in it, from Wyoming here, looks good at times, Bernie, and at other times he lets the ball get away.
Well, yeah, it looks like when he can throw his changeups over the plate, but he has a tough time with his fastball, and that's exactly opposite what you think.
Okay. And now it is ball, let's see here, ball two, strike, ball three, strike two on Donnie Blair with the first batter up here, top of the third inning. Sioux City, Iowa, and D right three. Hennenfeld got him on a swing and strike.
I believe the pitch was a little bit on the outside, Bill, but he swung at it, so that gives him 5 strikeouts for the day so far.
So Matt Bruss, the guy that started it off in the first inning with a double, is the next batter, and Matt steps in and takes a swing and strike one. Matt had a beautiful double down the right field line that the right fielder tried to come in on, and it got underneath him, Jim, and rolled all the way to the fence.
Went all the way to the wall, Bill, for 2 bases.
So now Bruss will hit another one. It could go for a hit. Let's see, it's close, but the pitcher will pick it up as he knocks it down, reaches over on the right side of the mound, and throws Matt Bruss out. So we have 2 outs in the top half of the third inning. And now Randy Kiefaber, who actually, I should say, Todd Adams coming to bat, and Todd, his first time up, also had a single in there, and advanced Matt to third, and Todd stepping in once again. And Todd pops it up to the pitcher, and we've got 1, 2, 3 outs in the top of the third inning. No runs, no hits, no one left after 2 1/2 innings of play in Wyoming, Michigan. Wabash 1, Sioux City, Iowa, no score. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
For a free estimate, call 563-4445. Imagine never having to paint your house again. Woodmeyer Siding is a proud sponsor of the Wabash Little League All-Stars. That's Woodmeyer Siding at 212 North Wabash Street. McDonald's Restaurant at 1300 North Cass Street, Wabash is proud to be a sponsor of the Wabash Little League All-Stars and wish them the best of luck at Michigan in the regional playoffs. Stop by McDonald's and enjoy a 100% pure beef burger, crisp golden McDonald's fries, drink, and a caramel, hot fudge, or strawberry sundae, or any of many other McDonald's delicious foods. Good luck, Little League All-Stars. From McDonald's at 1300 North Cass Street, Wabash.
Wyoming, Michigan, Bill Rogge along with Jim Rowe, Bernie Cohn, and Jim, all the gang down at Clark's Finer Food at 3 fine locations have got us tuned in down there today. One of our sponsors, I know, Joe Horner up there on Manchester Avenue, and most certainly Greg up there and Louise back there. They're tuned listening to the ball game, and I suppose they are on the south side as well as your gang out there at on Falls Avenue. I should say Cass Street.
Bob Hoover's tuned in. Brian Case, I know, is there. And I'm sure that Charlene Anderson back there in the deli's tuned in.
Well, Louise and Greg, we're going to have it tuned in. And well, Wabash is leading by 1 as we go in the bottom half of the third. Sean Brainerd will be picking up the number 8 man in the batting order, and that's Damon Herb, the shortstop. And he's a little guy. That's left-handed. Sean Brainerd with 5 out of 6 strikeouts, and of course, the last ball was bunted right to him, and he fires it in. And we've got ball 1. A little fella here could spell trouble, as he's not a very big fella. Batting left-handed out here.
He's a left-handed catcher, too. He's the third one on their team that's left-handed. I mean, throwing left-handed. That's unusual to have a catcher throw left-handed.
Who is that, Rod? Siebert? Streaker? Is a catcher. I had the wrong batter, and he's that little left-handed catcher. And now we have 2 balls on Rod. And now, let's see, it's 3 balls. Well, the leadoff batter here. And right now, Streeter, Bernie, this could spell trouble here with 3 balls.
Well, somebody's still got to get a hit to get something off him, but still, when he's not getting ahead of the hitters, he can't be too effective.
So it's 3 balls, no strike, and now he walked him on 4 pitches. So Sean Brainerd, top half of the 3rd inning, has put the first man on base, and that's the little fellow, the catcher. Right one. So Sean Brainerd put that one in, and we have 1 strike. And Sean there had retired the first 6 batters in a row, 5 by strikeouts and 1 on a bunt hit to him and throwing the first.
Back to the pitcher. We better go back to good old fastball, because on that first hitter, his curveball wasn't doing anything.
Okay, now let's see. Sean Brainerd will fire, and it is right 2.
I think Sean's problem right now, Bill, is just that he's overthrowing a little bit, and I think that's what Stan talks when I'm talking about. When he has that nice, easy motion and just throws the ball, he can throw the ball so hard without even trying that he can get it by him, so he doesn't need to overthrow.
Okay, Sean with 2 strikes on and now it's hit down to the second baseman. They go to second, a nice play by Blair, and I'm going to give Blair a lot of credit on that one, because I tell you, that man had got by him or was almost close to being safe, but Donnie Blair went for the leadoff man and got him.
That was a fine play. He just took his time, made sure he made a good throw to Randy at shortstop, and they had him by a couple of steps.
So it's 1 out as Blair to Keysaber and on first, it is Hurt with the fielder's choice. Now, stepping in is the 9th batter, John Chisholm, I assume they pronounce it that way. And John Chisholm. And John Chisholm, the batter, right 1. Now the Herbst is on first, and he's trying to draw a throw down there by Cox as Wabash leads by 1 over Sioux City, Iowa. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. There is 1 out for Sioux City, Iowa, and a man on first. And their 9th man in the order, John Chisholm, the batter, and he's got right 2 on him as Sean just fired it right in there by him. Sean got in trouble as he walked the first man, and that was the little catcher, Streeter. Streeter was forced at second on a hit to Blair, and now it is a low pitch, but Cox comes up with it. And let's see here, Sean Brainerd has now 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, I'll tell you, Bill, even if Stan Cox doesn't hit much, you got to like the way he handles himself behind the plate. He doesn't get rattled, making throws all over the place that time, and the man was off the base. Instead of making a throw, he ran him back to first. Great fundamentals.
A great catcher by Cox in there, and he just got another 2 balls, and I tell you, Cox saved one that last time.
Yeah, that ball was in the dirt, and he managed to pick it up, but Sean is overthrowing, I think, Bill.
So here it comes, and it is right 3, and Sean Brainerd has 2 outs in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Sioux City, Iowa, the team that is batting, is the home team up here at Wyoming, Michigan, and trail Wabash by 1. There's 2 outs, and we're back to the Terry Steele, the leadoff batter, a left-handed batter. Now there's 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and it's Wabash Little League out of Wabash, Indiana, leading by 1. A 1-0 score is Sean will fire, and it's ball 1, a little bit high that time. Sean Brainerd. Remember, they have a man on first. The first man walked. He was forced at second, and Herb is on first by a fielder's choice. Sean Brainerd will fire, and it's right 1. Ball 1, strike 1. There's 2 outs in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Wabash 1, Sioux City, Iowa 0.
He's having a little trouble with his curveball, so perhaps he'll bypass it and go with what he can do best, that fastball.
So it's 1-1 on Steele, the batter, and right 2 now.
also a matter of mechanics, Bill. I can notice a real difference when he's throwing the ball wild when he's throwing it right, as he comes straight overhand when he's throwing the ball right, and he tends to drop his shoulder and his right hip down a little bit when he's going wild.
Well, it's 1 ball, 2 strikes, bottom of the third, 2 outs. Brainerd, the ball's hit hard. It's a hit, and that's the first hit. And his man on first is going to third, and now they could pick him off. Let's see, he's going for home. Cox will run him down, and he dropped the ball on third. They had him out, and Chief Faber dropped the ball. Chief Faber dropped the ball. They had him out, and now Sioux City, Iowa, with the big break, have a man on second, a man on third, 2 outs though. And I tell you, once again, the third baseman, Matt Bruss, very wisely had that man picked off.
Oh, yes, they had him, and on the throw back to Randy, he just didn't get it in his glove and dropped it. They had him.
Let's give credit where credit is due. Sean Brainerd pitched 12, 13, 14, and 2/3 innings before anybody ever touched him for a hit.
Well, he's in a little bit of hot water now. He's got to get this man right here.
And the batter is Tim Dunbar, the second man in the lineup. So, Jim, as I was telling Bernie, you've got to give Sean no credit. He pitched 14 and 2/3 innings before anybody even got near that hit area.
That's true, Bill, but that's in the past. We've got to make this situation here.
Okay, and here we go, and it's strike one, but ball gets away, and the tying run will score. Well, he swung at a bad pitch, and now we are tied at 1. Well, Sioux City, Iowa has scored on a pass ball, I believe, and it was a strike, I believe, wasn't it, Burns?
It was a swinging strike.
So a swinging strike, and they call a pass ball, I guess, rather than a wild pitch.
That's ball, Bill. He should have had that one.
So now we're tied at 1 in the bottom half of the third inning in Wyoming, Michigan. As Sean Brainerd here touched for a hit, and now as he fired a strike, the ball got away from the catcher, and we're tied at 1. And now it's strike 2. The tough break, Jim and Bernie both, is the fact they had the man pitch off on third.
Tough break. Whenever you give a team 4 outs, Bill, something's going to happen, and that's exactly what we did. We should have had him for the 3rd out.
Well, that could happen to the best. It's just a tough break in there, and I hate to see it. And now we got a foul strike, but you hate to see it because the kids have placed the wall, and then they actually had the man picked right off, and the ball got away. The ball was dropped back there. Or, like you say, Jim, the 4 outs, and I hope they don't get a score on that because, really, that would be a tough way to let him get a run here. Now it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Brainerd will fire. Right 3. We're out of the inning, but they got a run. And at the end of 3 full innings to play, we're all tied in Wyoming, Michigan. Wabash 1, Sioux City, Iowa 1. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
The First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Wabash is proud to be associated with the Little League All Stars and wishes them continued success. The First Federal Savings and Loan Association wants your business and is offering totally free. That's right, totally free checking accounts. No balance is required, no service charge, and checks are supplied free. We want your business. That's First Federal Savings and Loan of Wabash, member FSLIC, a Little League booster. The Baker Insurance Agency at 234 South Miami Street in Wabash is proud to be a Wabash Little League All-Star sponsor. The Baker Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency for auto, homeowners, boat, business, casualty, motorcycle, and life insurance. See Max or John Baker. They'll explain to you the advantages of an independent agent. That's the Baker Insurance Agency at 234 South Miami Street in Wabash, a Little League All-Star booster.
They had him out at third.
They had him out at 3rd. He got the ball. On the rundown.
Now back here at the Wyoming, Michigan, one of our sponsors today, Ford Meter Box, located at 775 Manchester Avenue. All the Wilberforce up there and all the gang, and of course, Earl Sandler's probably got a pipe into the Pacquiao gang. It was a tough break. Wabash in that last half of the 3rd inning. Sean Brainerd gave up his first hit in 14 innings and 2/3. So you can't have a blame Sean, and they had the guy picked off, and it was just one of those plays where the ball slipped out of Randy's hand. And now we have a tie ball game as we start the top half of the fourth inning. And the guy at bat here is Randy Kefever. And there's nobody that felt any worse about dropping that ball than Randy Kefever.
Well, the execution on that play was excellent, Bill. Stan Cox ran him back as far as he should run him and tossed it to...
Well, a hit by Kefever down to the shortstop, hit on this beautiful infield, just took a perfect bounce off the edge of the grass right into the shortstop's hand, and he fired it over and actually threw the ball away, and the first baseman came up with an outstanding catch, and Randy Kefever has been retired. So there's one down in top half of the fourth inning for Wabash as the game is tied with Sioux City of Iowa, top of the fourth inning from Wyoming, Michigan, and Sean Brainerd stepped in and takes ball one.
That first baseman dug that one out of the dirt beautifully on that last play.
So Sean Brainerd here with one out, trying to help his cause. We're tied at one in Wyoming, Michigan. Sioux City, Iowa 1, Wabash 1, and surely they had to give an air that inning on that throwdown. I think there's some question about the official scores up here, right, Jim, or not?
No, there was nothing wrong with Stan's throw to Randy. Randy just dropped it. That's all there was to it.
Stan Cox did a super job. Did the official score here did call that an error, didn't he?
Oh, definitely. You got it. He dropped the ball, and he had him out by 2 feet, Bill. The execution of the play was great.
And now we have 3 balls, and Sean will pop it up, but it's going back into the Wabash section. And foul ball, and coming up with a foul ball, I think Sam Barnett out there was here today all the way from Wabash, Indiana, comes up with that ball. Well, maybe Ernie Barnett listening in out there. So it is 2 balls. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Sean Brainerd with 1 out. Top half of the fourth inning. We're tied at 1. Now, Sean hit the tapper back to the pitcher. He's going to touch him unassisted, and we have 2 outs in the top half of the fourth inning. Coming to bat now from Wabash will be Jamie Duncan, and Wabash has been retired since that first inning in order, and they have retired him, I believe, 8 in a row.
9, actually, Bill.
9 in a row has been retired as Wabash got over that good first inning. And now, with the game tied, we're going to have to stir something up here.
9 consecutive men he's retired.
So, it's boy, Hinningfeld is doing quite better after that first inning start. Now, let's see, it is Jamie Duncan moving in. Jamie, the last time, was thrown out from the second baseman to the first baseman. And Jamie, the batter. Jamie out here today, playing out in left field for Wabash, takes ball 1, strike 1. We're tied with Sioux City of Iowa, Wabash 1, Sioux City of Iowa 1. We're in the top half of the fourth inning. And Jamie Duncan, now strike 2, and now we have 2 strikes, 1 ball, 2 outs. Top half of the fourth inning. Fine crowd up here from Wabash, enjoying every minute and every pitch. And now C. Rice 3. At the end of 3 1/2 innings of play. Wabash Little Leaguers 1, Sioux City, Iowa 1. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
The First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Wabash is proud to be associated with the Little League All Stars and wishes them continued success. The First Federal Savings and Loan Association wants your business and is offering totally free, that's right, totally free checking accounts. No balance is required, no service charge, and checks are supplied free. We want your business. That's First Federal Savings and Loan of Wabash, member FSLIC, a Little League booster. Wabash's oldest home-owned furniture store, Miller Furniture, at 1100 North Cass Street, now offers 1/2 off Sealy Posturepedic Royale bedding. This is the sale that you've been waiting for. Every Sealy Posturepedic model and size is drastically reduced during this incredible Posturepedic sale. So shop early for the best selection. Quantities are limited. Save 50% on Sealy Posturepedic Royale bedding right now at Miller Furniture, 1100 North Cass Street. Miller Furniture supports our Little League All-Stars.
Wyoming, Michigan, it's Wabash Little Leaguers against Sioux City, Iowa, and we're tied at 1 as we go into the bottom half of the fourth inning. Jim, one of our sponsors, and Bernie up there, the First Federal Saving and Loan, with 3 officers in Wabash, and of course Nick George, the president out there, but Mike the Pretorius, the vice president, and Nick's probably running the show down there, and I think several of the people probably got the radio on out there on the Cass Street and probably downtown. We hope so. All the gang at First Federal Saving and Loan, we can bring you back a victory. Wabash is tied with Sioux City of Iowa. We're starting the bottom of the fourth.
1-1, so we got to hold them now.
Up the batter's box, moving in, is Brad Leckban, and he fouls the first one off. And the last time up, he was a victim of a strikeout. So Leckban steps in. We're in the bottom of the fourth. Brainerd getting ready to go here. One strike. We're tied at 1. Sioux City, Iowa 1, and now we got a strike 2, and I believe he put the slow pitch in there.
That was his slow change curve.
So it is now 2 strikes. And no ball on Leckban, the first batter up for Sioux City, Iowa. And now a tie. Well, they scored that run, on that pass ball. That had to be an error in there, too, didn't it? Does that count as an error on a pass ball?
Not on a pass ball. You don't give an error on a pass ball. No.
Pass ball and on the catcher, and Steve right 3, and now it is 1 out as Sean Brainerd seems to be back on target.
8 strikeouts now for Sean. Coming to that for Iowa.
Henningfield. So Henningfield, the pitcher who's doing a fine job, retired 9 Wabash people in a row after that first inning, steps in here. The first time up, he was a victim of a strikeout.
He retired for just a minute, Bill. He got one.
Okay, now we have 1 ball to Todd Henningfield. Sean Brainerd on the mound. We're in the bottom of the fourth. The score: Wabash 1, Sioux City out of Iowa 1. And now C. Reich run as Sean Brainerd, who has allowed but 1 hit and 1 run, and 15 full innings to play, and we might say 15 and 1/3 inning, as he had the first man on a strikeout, and now a foul strike, and we have 1 ball, 2 strikes on the pitcher of Iowa, Sioux City out of Iowa, Todd Henningfield. Jim?
He retired, Henningfield, after that first inning, Bill, retired 10 men in a row. And of that 10, he's got, just a second, he's got 6 strikeouts.
Well, Jim, a little breakdown in the equipment on Dan Cox's equipment out there. Ronnie Keith, they were the manager out, and right now it's 1 for Wabash, 1 for Sioux City out of Iowa. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning, and Bernie, that 1 run did not hold up, but it's still a 1-1 ball game, and we've got the bottom of the fourth inning with the pitcher batting 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out.
Of course, Wabash has got to get some base runners when they come up. They haven't had a base runner in the first inning.
And time is drawing near as the innings begin to progress down. Well, one of our sponsors out there today, one of them will certainly get in, is Miller Furniture, 1100 North Cass Street. Charlie Miller, John Miller out there, probably got us tuned in. I don't know whether Phyllis Tanya's working this week or not. Lightning's probably enjoying himself listening to the ball game. But all the gang out there, Hubert Bowen's been going to the ball game. I'm surprised he's not up here today taking in the ball game. Jack Miller out there. Well, we finally got the equipment fixed. And let's take a look here now as Sean Brainerd has 1 ball, 2 strikes on his pitcher, Doug. I should say Todd Henningfield, and now he's got 2 balls and 2 strikes, because that ball was a little bit high
Over his head.
So it is 2 balls, 2 strikes. The score: 1 Wabash, 1 Sioux City out of Iowa, and now we've got a full count. So with 1 out in the bottom half of the fourth inning, Henningfield has worked Sean Brainerd to a full count.
I'd like to see him go strictly to his fastball because he's having problems with his curve.
And now it's a hit ball over the second baseman out to the center fielder, and we've got a man on first with the second hit of the ball game off of Brainerd. And Todd Henningfield, the pitcher, is a man that just got that hit. And now Jeff Thompson steps in with one out and a man on first, and Sean has given up 2 hits this game, Jim, but we're in a regional contest up there, Central Regional, and you're in a little bit tougher competition. Now, ball hit, going to drop for a hit out there by Thompson. They're going to third, and wisely, a nice play out there by the right fielder, and that was a very fine play by David Foy as he fired it all the way over to Matt Brush. Did you give him a hit on that? That's my question. It has to be a hit. Second hit in a row.
Definitely the hit. If he'd have got that, that would have been spectacular, Bill. I think he would also doubled up the runner at first base.
Now stepping in here is Jason McCory, is it? And McCory, a left-handed batter, D-right one. So McCory, the little left-handed second baseman, with a man on first, a man on second for Sioux City out of Iowa in scoring position here. And now he tries to bunt. They call strike 2. There's 1 out. So Sean Brainerd's going to have to lean back and give just a little bit more second effort here as he has got man on first, a man on second for Sioux City. And now he strikes that man out, McCory. So there's 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. Kinneyfeld on second. McCory, Thompson on third. And Streeter stepping in, and he's a left-handed second catcher.
That was a big out there. That was a number 6 hitter, so now maybe we'll get out of this. This 7 hitter's probably not as good a hitter as the number 6 spot.
So, as he leans back, fires it in. Well, we hope Jim Davis out there and his lovely wife Barbara, who takes in these ball games with us and works for us, is back there taking in the game and enjoying it today. Well, we've got 1 ball on this little catcher, Streeter, and now he rides, and that was the full run. So it's 1-1. Wabash with 2 outs, but Sioux City, Iowa with 2 men on, a man on first, a man on second. We'll try to get out of this jam. The little catcher, Streeter, pitches. I should say strike 2. And Bernie, they've got to get out of here. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Well, Sean's just got to throw the power pitches and get him in there.
2 strikes on this little catcher, Streeter. We're in the bottom of the 4th. We're all tied at 1. Sean will deliver. Fires. Oh, he fouls it off, and it goes back up over the press box here on the third base side. So there's 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Score tied. We're in the bottom of the 4th. And Sioux City out of Iowa with men in scoring position. And now a hit ball. They could score a run. Let's see if they come in with it to home plate. It's a long throw, and he'll score. And Iowa, Sioux City team out of Iowa has taken the lead as the little catcher hit one right up over second base. And Sioux City out of Iowa leads Wabash Little Leaguers by 1 run. It's 2-1.
I was in hopes after he got by the number 6 hitter that the number 7 hitter wouldn't be able to produce, but that's baseball.
Sean Brainerd just not up to par today. Bernie has those 2 other games that he had. They begin to hit him there a little.
Well, obviously, Bill, he isn't on his best, but he's getting behind a lot of counts. He's having to come right down the middle of a lot of pitches, and they are hitting him.
So we've had 3 hits this inning, Jim, off of Sean, and 1 run, and now Wabash. Well, it is outside. 4-1 on this next batter.
He's fallen behind on each of the hitters in this inning, and then he has to come in with that one right in the middle.
So Herbst the batter, and Herbst is the number 8 man in the batting order. We have a man on first. We have a man on second. It was that Streeter, that little catcher that was batting left-handed that got that hit, and now we have 2 balls. And the ball gets away, and the man on second will go to third, and he is saved. And the man on first will go to second. So, let's see whether they're going to call that a pass ball or they're calling that a stolen base. Stolen base. So, now, the Wabash trailing. It's Sioux City out of Iowa, 2. Wabash 1. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Wabash had 2 outs, and we still got the 2 outs. We just can't get this third guy out. Hurts the batter, hits hard down to Kiefaber. He drops the ball. 1 run will score. And now it is Hooks going to second on the throw-in from the center fielder, and Wabash's defense is completely broken down, and they trail now 3-1. What did you call that, Bernie?
It's got to be 6.
Got to be an error. That went right between Randy's legs, I guess, didn't it, Jim?
Right between his legs. Never even got down for it, Bill.
So now it is a 3-1 ball game, and Sioux City of Iowa has a man on third, a man on second. We still have 2 outs, and the ninth man, John Chisholm, into the batting order, fouls the first one off. Sean Brainerd running into a tough inning here. And Jim just recapping that inning. He got the first 2 batters out, and then it all happened after the first 2 outs, I believe, didn't it? Or did we get first man out, then a hit?
Then the 2 hits, and then a strikeout. And then things have been happening since.
And now it is the right to Sean Brainerd on John Chisholm, the ninth batter in the order.
This is the first hitter in this inning that Sean's got ahead of. You guys down 2 strikes.
3-1. Sioux City of Iowa out in front of Wabash in Wyoming, Michigan. And now, D. Wright 3, and that inning was not a good inning. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error, and Sioux City of Iowa at the end of 4 innings leads in this ball game by 2. It's 3 for Sioux City out of Iowa, 1 for Wabash out of Indiana. We'll be back in 16 seconds.
A supermarket with super service too, where shopping is a pleasure, 'cause they care for folks like you.
The staff and management at Clark's Finer Foods supports the Wabash Little League All-Stars. Clark's wishes the best to the All-Stars now and in the future. Clark's Finer Foods is a Wabash Little League booster. Denny Motor Sales at 50 West Water Street, Wabash, wishes the Wabash Little League All-Stars best of luck in Michigan. Denny Motor Sales has served Wabash and Wabash County for over 50 years. Stop by Denny's and see their large selection of Oldsmobiles, GMC trucks, and Buicks. Denny Motors also offers body repair and auto leasing. That's Denny Motor Sales at 50 West Water Street, Wabash. Wishing the Wabash Little League All-Stars continued success in Wyoming, Michigan.
From Wyoming, Michigan, the Central Regional Tournament. Pinery Park Little League, and then it's Wabash against Sioux City out of Iowa, Wabash from Indiana, Sioux City from Iowa, and the score is 3, Sioux City 1 for Wabash out of Indiana. One of our sponsors up here, the Gaunt and Son Construction at 940 Gillen Avenue, Ed Potts. And boy, he sponsors more Little League teams and Point League teams, I think, than anybody in Wabash. Now, congratulations to him, but we'll say hello to him. But the thing we want to say, Jim, Sioux City has, and Bernie, and on it too, they have 3 runs, but only 1 of them are earned.
Well, we've got our work cut out for us now. We've got the lower third of a batting order coming up, and so let's hope we can get something started.
So Wabash trailing by 2 rate runs, 3-1 as Stan Cox moves in, and Bernie, a tough day for the Wabash Little Leaguers as they just had a couple bad errors out here.
Well, you know, when you get to this level, Bill, you just can't make any mistakes. And unfortunately, they have made a few mistakes, a few walks, a couple errors, and they had their chance in the first to get more than 1 run and didn't.
So Stan Cox now will try to get things, and they've got a 1 ball now, 2 balls on Stan. 1 strike. Stan, the leadoff hitter, the catcher, and Stan's been catching a mighty nice ball game, even though he's had a couple bad balls here today, Jim, but he's been great all the way through. We're not going to say it now. He takes a called second strike. We got 2-2 on Stan Cox. We're in the top of the 5th in Wyoming, Michigan, on a beautiful sunny afternoon up here in Michigan and Wabash right now. And now Cox hits a one way out to the center fielder, backs up to about 180 feet and comes in and catches it. Boy, that ball was tagged.
If it had been on a little more on the line, it'd have been out of here, but he got it too high in the air. He got underneath the pitch just a little too much.
Now, the right fielder, David Foy, who was the victim of a strikeout, stepped in, and we have one out in the top of the fifth inning in Wyoming, Michigan here now. And now, David Foy takes a swing and strike. So, actually, low ball.
That was a ball he swung at.
So it is one strike. And this pitcher, Henningfeld here, seems to have settled down after that first inning, Bernie and Jim, and he's kind of retired Wabash right here in order.
Retired 11 in a row.
So 11 Wabash batters have been retired in a row since that first inning by Henningfeld, and now we got a strike three on David Foy. So we're two out in the top of the fifth. We need some help here. Guys have just had a little bad breaks up here and got themselves dug into a hole. They trailed by two. It's Iowa, Sioux City 3, Wabash out of Indiana 1.
Well, we had a couple of bad breaks, and it's put us behind, but we can come back.
Kendall fouls the first one off, and it's D-Reich 1 on a beautiful, sunshiny Wednesday afternoon in Wyoming, Michigan. And a beautiful field up here, Pinery Park, Little League Diamond. Hugh Kendall has one strike on him. No balls. There's two outs. Wabash trails. We're in the top of the fifth inning. Sioux City of Iowa. 1-3. And now Kendall hits one, a sharp one down to the first baseman. He picks it up, touches on first. We have 4 1/2 innings completed down here, and the score 3. Sioux City out of Iowa. 1 for Wabash out of Indiana. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Gontinson Incorporated at 940 Gillen Avenue, Wabash, is an established firm in Wabash doing excellent general contracting and commercial excavating. Gontinson Incorporated will be glad to give you a free estimate on your next job, whether it's a gravel driveway, gravel parking lot, having a farm pond dredged, or farmland cleared of timber or swamp. That's Gontinson Incorporated at 940 Gillen Avenue for free estimates on your excavating or contracting work. Good luck, All-Stars, from Gontinson Incorporated. The savings are fine when the price ends in 9 at Daywalt Pharmacy, 948 North Cass Street, Wabash. During their back-to-school Big 9 sale, you'll find theme books at 29 cents, 300-count filler papers, 79 cents, high-dry paper towels, 39 cents a roll, Q-Tex nail polish, 89 cents, a Sunbeam alarm clock, $3.99, and tubular hangers, 10 for 99 cents. You'll find these big savings and more at Daywalt's Pharmacy during the back-to-school Big 9 sale. Good luck, All-Stars, from Daywalt Pharmacy, 948 North Cass Street.
Wyoming, Michigan, Central Regional Tournament, Little League, and it's the Wabash Little Leaguers trailing by 2 against Sioux City of Iowa. One of our sponsors, a couple of our sponsors up here, McDonald Restaurant today at 1300 North Cass Street, and all the gang out at McDonald's probably got us tuned in, and gee, they got all those fine workers out there probably getting those big boys ready to get out there, Jim, as they listen into this ball game, and also Baker Insurance. Max Baker and all the gang down at 234 South Miami Street, and most certainly Max and his wife probably got the ball game tuned in. John up here taking it in. Well, Bernie, we're down to the bottom of the fifth. Wabash trailing by 2.
Well, you got to get them out here, and then with the top of the batting order up there, you've got to get something started right off the bat.
Jim, the first batter.
There's a leadoff man, Steele.
John Brainerd fires a strike 1 by him, and the Wabash fans here trying to get something started up here as they go into a real chant of yelling for their players. They trail by 2, and Brainerd gets ready, fires, and the ball's fouled off, strike 2. Terry Steele, the first baseman at Sioux City, has been up twice and has had 1 hit, and he's 1 for 2, right, Jim?
1 for 2, and he scored one of the runs.
And as we said, they've got 3. Only 1 of the runs are earned, but all 3 of them do count, and now we got a ball 1. John Brainerd today on the mound doing real well. It's just the fact that this Sioux City team has had their hitting shoes on, Jim, I'd say.
Well, I wouldn't say they exactly had their hitting shoes on. We helped them out with those errors.
And now Sean Brainerd strikes the first batter out. So Sean Brainerd picking up a few strikeouts out here today.
11 strikeouts, Bill.
So 11 strikeouts for Sean Brainerd. We're in the bottom of the fifth inning. Remember, Wabash must score in the next inning, as that is the sixth inning. Top of the sixth coming up. So we're 2 out, 1 out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. And stepping in here is Tim Dunbar. And Tim has been the victim of 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, he struck out twice, and he looks like he's going for his third.
And now, strike 2. Jim, suppose your lovely wife might be listening in out there today.
Oh, yeah, well, Elizabeth's listening in, and I know my grandson is, and my daughter, Pat. I don't know where Fred is. Fred's probably working around the house someplace.
Okay, and now Brainerd fires, and we got another strikeout. 12 strikeouts for Brainerd. 2 outs in the bottom of the fifth. But we got to get them up on their toes in the top of the sixth inning, because remember, we trail up here against the Sioux City out of Iowa by 2. Sean Brainerd now will be facing Brad. Never can get that name right, Bernie.
Lexband.
Lexband, and Lexband today has also been the victim of 2 of Sean's 12 strikeouts.
Well, we've got 12 strikeouts, Bill, but they've got 3 runs.
So it is 2 outs in the bottom of the fifth inning. Wyoming, Michigan. Central Regional Tournament. And a little bit of the catching material of Dan Cox. I think what we're going to have to do is buy him some more catching equipment. He's wearing it all out down there, Jim. The caps keep breaking. So now, stepping in, Leckbord. Leckbord takes Leckband takes strike 1. And he's been the victim, Jim, as I said, of 2 times he struck out against Sean Brainerd. So Sean now, as he gets ready here to face 1 strike on Leckband, here's 2 outs in the bottom of the fifth. The only bad part of it is we look at the big scoreboard and we see that Sioux City, Iowa has 3 and Wabash out of Indiana with 1. And all the fans up here really, really hard for the Little Leaguers today. And now we have D. Wright, 2. So, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Leckband. Batting first. By the way, he plays left field for Sioux City out of Iowa. And now Sean fires and the ball fouled off down to the first baseman. In fact, it hit the dugout of the Little Leaguers from Wabash. Sean Brainerd on the mound out here. Sean, it's a hot, muggy afternoon, we should say. Beautiful day up here in Wyoming, Michigan, but it's hot and muggy. Brainerd set, fires, and the ball popped back up over the back stand up into the hill here. Beautiful park up here. They could build bleachers on the hill there and have a complete hillside where people could sit and watch the ball game. So now, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Getting ready to fire. Sean Brainerd. Select man. Fires. D-right 3. Well, he struck out the side, and here we come into the top of the sixth. We'll be back. It's no runs, no hits, no hits. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
The staff and management of the Ford Meter Box Company, located on Manchester Avenue in Wabash, is proud of our Little League All-Stars. Congratulations to your success to this point, and wishing you the best of luck in Wyoming, Michigan. This message from the Ford Meter Box Company, part of the growing community of Wabash for over 80 years.
And now for another chapter in the saga, The Time of Your Life. Today we find Ed calling home to Doris.
Hi, honey. I know I called earlier, but I'm still at the station getting the muffler fixed. The guy went after a part, and it's going to cost more, too. I should have gone to the muffler pro.
Meanwhile, across town, Ted dials his wife, Mary.
Mary, it took just 15 minutes for the muffler at Hoosier Muffler Shop, so I'll be home early. Cost less, too.
Hoosier Muffler on Hale Drive and 13 South is a member of the ESPA, Exhaust System Professionals Association, and is a Wabash Little League booster.
We got Central Regional Tournament Pinery Park Little League Diamond in Wyoming. It's the Little League District Central Regional Tournament, and right now Wabash, with their backs to the wall, they trail by 2. One of our sponsors, of course, bringing you fans back in Wabash, the First National Bank. All the gang down there, Matt Wiley, Phil Young, and golly, all of fine help down there taking in the ball game, and most certainly we couldn't have done it without them. And Jim Linder, of course, said his secretary, Bonnie Day, had us tuned in down there. And I tell you, Jim, Wabash has got the lead-off batter up, and they've got to come now. They trail by 2, and they've got their backs to the wall.
I'd like to see him just use a little patience up there at the bat instead of swinging at them curveballs that are in the dirt. Just be a little patient, because this guy hasn't got that good of control. So we've got our backs to the wall, but who knows? 3 or 4 base hits, and we'll be back in it.
So the situation is this. Wabash trails Sioux City out of Iowa. Did some changes into the lineup for defensive purposes. And now they have a new right fielder, a new left fielder. And Wabash's Donnie Blair will step in. And Wabash trails by 2. It's Sioux City out of Iowa 3. Wabash 1. Blair, D. Reich 1. And Donnie Blair has 2 strikeouts to his credit here in the first 2 times at bat, and he takes strike 1. So Donnie Blair, the batter. It is now a 3-1 ball game, and this is an inning that Wabash must score, or it's all over, Jim.
This is do or die.
Ball 1, and I tell you, it's been a tough day out here for them. They just actually only have 1 earned run scored against them, and now Steve Wright, and boy, he swung at a bad pitch.
Curveball again, and he went out reaching for it.
So it's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Donnie Blair. Donnie in 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Wabash, well, Bernie, if they don't pull this out, they play the same time tomorrow. So it'll be well, they just called Donnie Blair out on that pitch. And that pitcher, Henningfeld, is doing a nice job out there, Jim, as he just struck out Donnie Blair.
He's got 8 strikeouts. He's got our boys reaching out for that curveball.
Matt Bruss in. Matt 1 for 2 today. Stepped in, popped one up behind the first base dugout out there. So it is 1 strike on Matt Bruss. We're in the top of the 6th inning. 1 out on Wabash. Out of Indiana, they trail by 2 big runs. It's 3 for Sioux City out of Iowa. 1 for Wabash out of Indiana. Bruss with a shot hit right up the middle to center field. And Matt Bruss with his 2nd hit of the inning has got something started here, we hope. So Bruss comes through.
He lined that thing right out there, Bill. That was a solid smash out over second base. So now maybe we've got something going. We've got our 2 big hitters coming up. Todd Adams at 389 and Randy Kiefer at 350. So,
well, Todd Adams and Jim and Bernie picked up strike 1, but we know what Todd can do if he gets a hold of it.
Well, both Todd and Randy hit 3 home runs in the tournament, so that's what you're hoping for right now.
Well, Todd Adams up with Bruss on first, and his team trailing by 2. And Jimmy just hit the foul ball that goes back into the backstand here. And you know what the Wabash fans are thinking.
Got him in the hole, 2 strikes, but it only takes 1 to hit it.
So Todd Adams, the batter. Matt Bruss on first. Bruss. The ball's hit hard down to the first baseman, and the first baseman, the left-hander, will go to the shortstop at second, and Bruss is retired. And I thought maybe we might get a little break there. That ball was hit sharply by Adams, but that first baseman made a nice play of it and forces Bruss at second. So we're 2 down, and we still got Randy Kiefer. And Randy, of course, the grandson of Elmer Kiefer, and how many home runs has he had in this playoff?
He's had 3 home runs in the tournament, Bill, including 1 in the state championship game.
And now Randy, at bat, takes strike 1.
This is it.
Come on, Randy. Get that big one in there. It is a 3-1 ball game. Hitting foul. The pitcher fires. Ball. And you know what Randy Kiefaber's thinking up there. He's got to get that big one.
Well, either he's got to get a big one or get on and then let Sean get the big one, because Sean can hit it too.
So Randy Kiefaber here at bat. Right. And now the ball gets away from the catcher. Fast ball, and Todd Adams goes down to second. 1 ball. 2 strikes on Randy Kiefaber. 2 outs. We're in the top of the 6th inning, and Wabash trailing by 2. That's 3-1. Oh, Kiefaber hits a foul ball. I want to see him hit that long one, Jim.
He got a real feeble swing at that one.
I want to see him hit that long one, Bernie.
All he can do is keep hitting pitches that are good pitcher's pitches. You got to keep throwing them off till he gets what he likes.
So Randy Kiefaber with a man on second. That's Todd Adams. There's 2 outs. We're in the top of the 6th. Sioux City out of Iowa, 3. Wabash 1. And Wabash is Randy Kiefaber with 1 ball and 2 strikes. Randy hits one. It'll be a hit. And the run will score. And now let's see what Kiefaber he'll go to second. As the right fielder delays picking it, just actually picked it up and threw it in. And now let's see. Randy Kiefaber is on second. And they haven't called timeout yet. And now we get a timeout. And now Adams did score on that hit. And that right fielder kept picking it up. And Randy couldn't move to see what he's going to do. And they picked it up after Adams had already scored.
He helped us out because the run had already scored. He helped us out by throwing it to the plate. Whereas if he'd have thrown it to the cutoff man at second base, he might have held Randy at first base.
So it's a 3-2 ball game in the top of the 6th inning. And it is Sean Brainerd with a chance to help his own cause here. Randy Kiefaber on second. 1 run in. 3. Sioux City out of Iowa. 2 for Wabash out of Indiana. And we've got 2 outs though, Bernie.
I think they call this pressure, Bill.
Well, it's take the bait. Oh, Sean Whitford and this strike 1. Well, Wabash trailing by 1. Their last at bat, if they don't score, Brainerd. Ball. And it's a 3-2 ball game. Randy Kiefaber is almost being picked off. They're going to run him down, and they'll touch him out. And Randy Kiefaber is touched out on the shortstop. And it's all over up here at Wyoming, Michigan, with Sioux City of Iowa winning on 3 runs. Wabash out of Indiana, 2. And we'll be back in 60 seconds with more from Wyoming, Michigan.
Hi, I'm Bob Fuller with First National Bank here in Wabash. You know, each personal transactor machine spends 8,760 hours a year serving the people of Wabash. Convenient 24-hour banking, now at 3 locations, the corner of Cass Street, downtown, and I'm proud to say our 3rd location at the junction of Highway 13 South and Hale Drive is now ready to serve you. So when you need cash any time of the day or night, Transactor is ready to serve you. Transactor. Only at First National Bank in Wabash, member FDIC.
WKUC has Wabash pride and supports the Wabash Little League All Stars. If you can, attend the regional playoffs in Wyoming, Michigan, and support the All Stars. But if you can't, WKUC will give you all the play-by-play. For Little League baseball excitement, keep your dial set at 95.9 FM.
We can't treat the soil of the Sioux City, Iowa, 3 runs on Iowa history 1 year.
Wyoming, Michigan, Central Regional Tournament, game number 1, and today Wabash loses by a close game, 3-2, and the last out was made by Randy Kiefaber being picked off at second base, which means that Wabash now must move into the losers bracket, and they've got a tough way to go. They'll have to come back and play tomorrow at the same time, 2 o'clock Michigan time, 1 o'clock Wabash time, right here at this Little League Park in Wyoming, Michigan. Jim, wouldn't Butler has moved in with me, and Jim, of course, will run down this ball game for us for the Wabash Little League. And Jim, a tough loss, 3 for Sioux City out of Iowa, 2 for the Little League team from Wabash, Indiana. Jim Widner, the official scorer, will be the spokesman today for the Wabash Little League team. Jim.
Thank you, Bill. I guess what we do right now is we find ourselves in the same position we were in following the Rochester subsectional leading to the section championship in Fort Wayne. To recall then, we had a loss, and we found ourselves in a position of having to win 3 games in a row in order to advance to the next level, and that's exactly where we are now. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock to play the winner of the second game between, Illinois and Michigan, and we need to win that one to move into Friday's losers bracket consolation championship game against obviously an opponent yet to be determined also. We did it once. We had to win 3 in a row, and we came back and did it, and I have every reason to believe that's what we'll do this time. We played basically a good ball game. We let a couple things happen that are very unusual for us. We had 2 errors today. One which left a runner on third that was in a rundown and escaped from the rundown between third and home on a drop ball. And then another error that really hurt was the ball that got through at shortstop, which normally doesn't happen to our fielding. Those things will happen. We did come back. I was real pleased that we did come back in the top of the 6th, and we were down 3-1. Get a couple runners on, score a run, make the thing tight. I do want to explain the last play of the game. I, of course, wasn't here. I was down in the dugout, but from my perspective, what happened, we had 2 outs. Randy Kiefaber, who is probably our smartest base runner, not necessarily the fastest by any means, but definitely the smartest player that we could probably have on the bases running at any given time. Basically, we tried to do the same thing that we did at Fort Wayne. For those of you who were up there, was a delayed steal. The play was on. Randy was not caught asleep, as may have been the impression of some of the fans here. What we try to do in that case is move him between the bases, between second and third in this case, and attempt to get him in a rundown, or actually what we hope to do is get the ball thrown behind him to allow him to get to third base. If he gets into third base, avoids that tag, we've got a new ball game. I can just about guarantee you that, because they would be totally demoralized. It didn't work for us today. It worked real well in Fort Wayne. Maybe tomorrow. Quickly on some of the statistics, I haven't had a chance to really put them together, and I'm sure Bill and Jim probably had them together real well for you, but I guess I had us down with a total of 5 hits. Excuse me, I had 6. I think the official score probably only had 5. I guess I gave one someplace that someone didn't. We had 2 runs. Basically, the only base runners we had were in the 1st and the 6th inning. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, we didn't get anybody on. Hit the ball relatively well. Only struck out, I think, 5 times during that period, but couldn't get anybody on base to take advantage of what is one of our better traits, I think, of this ball club, is aggressive base running. Defensively or pitching-wise, Sean Brainerd threw a strong game. I think he had probably 13 strikeouts. 13, Jim? Okay, very good. He was in control of the game most of the time. In his defense, not making excuses, but the mound was a little bit soft, and Sean does have a little bit of trouble adjusting to that. Of course, the other pitcher had exactly the same mound to pitch off of, so that isn't an excuse by any means. Let's see. They had a total of 4 hits. Is that what you had, Jim? Okay, they bunched them real well, along with a walk and a fielder's choice in the 3rd. We started off with a walk, which has been a sort of our bad point all year long, letting somebody get on. That runner was erased immediately on a fielder's choice, but it did allow that runner to make himself a base runner. Then there was a base hit, and the next thing you know, there's a passed ball. So kind of Sean's hard luck story. He sometimes has let runners on, and they scored on the passed ball route. The next inning, they came back and really did a good job. Got 2 hits in a row after the first out was made. Then after 2 outs, those runners were still on, and another single, followed by an error that allowed a couple runs in. If it wouldn't have been for that error at that point, or the error in the 3rd inning, we win 2-1, I think, if I'm looking at that exactly right. But again, all is not over. Don't want anybody to think that it is. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock to play the loser of the second game here today between Illinois and Michigan. We're looking forward to that, and like the same thing we had to do after Monticello beat us that one time in Rochester, is come back and win 3 in a row. I'll turn it back over to Bill now if he or Jim have any more questions.
Well, Jim, of course, a tough loss, no doubt about it. Wabash actually letting Sioux City of Iowa have only one earned run out here today. Wabash get with 2 earned runs, and as you said, would have won that ball game by 2-1. But as the scoreboard shows, with those 2 unearned runs scoring, and of course that was a beautiful rundown out here in that inning where they scored that 1 run. I believe that was the 3rd inning. Got that run back when that Russ threw to Matt Cox, and Matt Cox running down, and the ball just got away from Randy Keepaver. In fact, the one umpire had already called the runner out. And that, of course, later being the man that did score that run that inning, and that run right there, we might say, along with the other unearned run, is the run that defeated Wabash up here by the score of 3-2. And Jim, most certainly, we cannot say anything about the fine job that the Little League team has done. Right. They will be back here tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We'll be right here with them. 2 o'clock our time. It'll be 1 o'clock our time, 2 o'clock Michigan time. But I know, Jim, they're going to come back, and I know they're going to have a little talk right now and get organized. And, hey, we're proud of them, even losing that game 3-2.
Okay, we appreciate that, Bill. We will be back. Hope a lot of the fans do tune in about 1:45 tomorrow. We'll be ready to go. Jim Rowe did point out something that perhaps I was remiss in not mentioning, that Sean did get behind several of the batters today. I think there was a combination of not being able to pitch as much the past few days as we might have liked, and then the soft mound, and Sean having a little trouble with that historically. He did fall behind a little bit. That's a real good observation now that I check my scorebook. You're exactly right. But we're looking forward to 3 games in a row now. Our backs are to the wall, but we'll have 9 players on the field tomorrow, and we sure hope to represent ourselves real well, Bill.
Jim, we appreciate you dropping by. We know that Mike and Ronnie had to get the team and get them out of here and get a little organization. I suppose they've got things planned for them tonight up here.
Yes, it's today, what, Wednesday? Okay, yeah, today is sort of an off night for the kids. They'll go back to their foster homes after we watch the second game together, and I don't believe there's anything formally structured as there is tomorrow night. There's a bowling party or something, but we'll probably try to get the kids together, if not tonight, definitely tomorrow morning, work on a little hitting. Our bunting, we had a couple opportunities today that we didn't get the bunt down. We're going to obviously be working on that. That's been a point that we've been up and down on all year long, or in this tournament especially. But we're looking forward to being back tomorrow, as I said, and hope to represent Wabash real well.
Jim, one question before you go. You've been here. We didn't get to see. Did you get to see either the Jackie Robinson team out of Chicago, Illinois, or the Taylor team out of Detroit, Michigan? Did you get to see either one of them warm up or practice?
No, I didn't. Ohio and Michigan played to advance to the game in the other bracket, the second game that will follow today, on Monday. And, of course, we didn't get here on Monday, so we didn't get a chance to observe them. And, of course, this morning, due to the rain, all the practices were canceled. None of the teams got to work out at all on a diamond. We went over in a little wooded area and did a few little things, but we didn't get a chance to observe them at all. What we did see was yesterday at the picnic, they introduced all of the teams. Frankly, the Iowa team stood out. They had a bunch of big boys. I think you'll both agree to that. And that took us not necessarily by surprise, but we did make note of that yesterday. We frankly didn't think that the Illinois and the Michigan teams were quite as large, and that was the only assumption we could really make, was just look at size. But as we know, especially with our team, we don't have too many big players, and we think we've been relatively successful, so I don't want anybody to draw any conclusions from that. But in answer to your question, Bill, we haven't watched anybody work out, and the only observation we could make was just on size alone.
Jim, we'll see you tomorrow, and I know that you want to say hello to your wife and son back there. Have been listening in to you all day.
Okay, actually, Bill, I have one son and one wife here, and no wives, and just one son at home. I hope somebody's laughing. They are here. Okay, yes. But I will say hello to my parents, who are keeping my younger son, Brett, and hello to you, Brett.
Well, I hope we got that straight. Jim, thanks a lot. We'll see you tomorrow at exactly 15 minutes before 2 o'clock.
Real good, Bill. We'll be looking forward to it.
And we're going to be back with a final wrap-up from Jim Rowe here in just 60 seconds.
The Baker Insurance Agency at 234 South Miami Street in Wabash is proud to be a Wabash Little League All-Star sponsor. The Baker Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency. For auto, homeowners, boat, business, casualty, motorcycle, and life insurance, see Max or John Baker. They'll explain to you the advantages of an independent agent. That's the Baker Insurance Agency at 234 South Miami Street in Wabash, a Little League All-Star booster. Gontinson Incorporated at 940 Gillen Avenue, Wabash, is an established firm in Wabash doing excellent general contracting and commercial excavating. Gontinson Incorporated will be glad to give you a free estimate on your next job, whether it's a gravel driveway, gravel parking lot, having a farm pond dredged, or farmland cleared of timber or swamp. That's Gontinson Incorporated at 940 Gillen Avenue for free estimates on your excavating or contracting work. Good luck, All-Stars, from Gontinson Incorporated.
From Wyoming, Michigan, it's Central Regional Tournament, and Wabash this afternoon in game number 1. Jim loses by the score of 3. Sioux City, Iowa, 2. Wabash out of Indiana. And Jim, let's have a final rundown and word from you as we close out here this afternoon from Wyoming, Michigan. Jim Rowe.
Well, I think Jim Widmer said it all. We made some mistakes running the bases. We didn't do well in executing the rundown. We had the man, but one of those things, baseball's a game of inches. Randy had the ball, and it slipped out of his hands, and the runner was safe. Sean pitched a good game. I don't believe that it was his best, naturally, because he got beat, but really he didn't beat himself. The only thing that, he did fall behind in the middle innings on the hitters, and then that's when they got their base hits and scored their runs. Of course, we helped them out with our errors, and we took ourselves, in the first inning, I thought we took ourselves out of possibly a big inning when Todd was thrown out at the plate on that pass ball. But that's baseball. You win some, you lose some, but don't think for a minute that these kids from Wabash didn't represent Wabash in the finest tradition today. And our backs are against the wall, but believe me, they'll be back here tomorrow at 1 o'clock, Wabash time, ready to play, and we'll take her from there. Okay, Bill.
Okay, from Wyoming, Michigan, Bill Rogge along with Jim Rowe and our very fine sponsors up here today, Baker Insurance, McDonald's Restaurant, Miller Furniture, Broughton Sun Construction, First Federal Savings and Loan, Ford Meter Box, Clark's Finer Food, Woodbine Siding, Denny Motors, First National Bank, Daywalk Pharmacy, and Hoosier Muffler, saying we're going to be right back with these guys tomorrow. We'll be on the air at 12:45, 1:45, and we're going to bring them back into that winning bracket, as tomorrow it'll be Wabash playing against the loser of game number 2 that comes off up here at 5 o'clock tonight, and that is the team out of Chicago, Illinois, the Jackie Robinson winners, and the team out of Detroit, Troy, Michigan. So Wabash will be playing one of those teams, one of those 2 teams tomorrow, and we'll have it for you all on your sports network, WKUZ 95.9 FM on your dial. Bill Rogge along with Jim Rowe. Thanks to Carl Campbell for helping us up out here today. We'll be back tomorrow at 12:45. So good afternoon. Wabash winning their first game ever. Good afternoon.